Hello everybody and welcome to my library. Today I'm doing a tag video and this is actually my very first tag video, so I'm really excited about this. I've decided to do the numbers tag, which was created by Lee Johnson, and I first saw this tag on books actually. The first challenge in this tag is find one book whose title contains letter O, N and E. This was easy. I've picked One for the Money by Janet Ivanovich. Do I get extra points for the fact that, the three letters actually spell the word one? I should get extra points for that, I think. Second task. Find two classics with more than 200 pages each. Now this is really easy, I think, because classics usually come as very, very fat books. And I've decided on two books by my two favourite 19th century authors. Well, I also like Gaskell. I could have used one of her books as well. But for this tag, I settled on Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, and this is the very, very pretty cloth-bound edition by Penguin Books, and William Makepeace Thackeray's Vanity Fair. And as you can see, this is a really hefty book. It comes to 949 pages, so definitely fulfills that challenge. Third task. Find three books with an author's name beginning or ending in T. And for this I've chosen Teresa Medeiros' Yours Until Dawn. This is one of my favourite historical romances, and Terry is one of my favourite romance authors actually. It's such a nice story. It's basically a Beauty and the Beast tale, and I love Beauty and the Beast tales, and I love this book so much. The next book is Terry Pratchett, Witches Abroad. Terry Pratchett is also one of my favourite authors, and this is one of my favourite novels from the Discworld series. It's hilarious. I love it to pieces. And again, one of my other favourite authors is Dorothy Dennett, and this is Checkmate. This is the last volume of her Lyman Chronicles, and oh my god, I love these books so much. And I love the hero so much. Francis Crawford of Lymond is the best hero that was ever created. Ever. And yeah, and I love the covers. Aren't they pretty? So, here's one. Now, next challenge. Find four books with over 400 pages. And I've chosen Guy Gabriel Kay's The Last Light of the Sun. I discovered this author when I stayed when I stayed in Toronto in 2010. He's a Canadian author, and he writes these big fantasy novels. This one comes to 582 pages. They are fantasy novels, but they very closely resemble our normal history and historical patterns. They are in many ways more historical fiction than fantasy fiction. I definitely recommend his books. His prose is very lyrical and very poetic. They can be quite tough to read because quite a lot of the characters don't survive the books. So that can be quite hard and quite tough, but still they are very, very beautiful books. Next book with over 400 pages is Diana Gabaldon's Voyager, and this is the third volume in her Outlander series, and let me see whether... No. Oh god. Here's the cover. I love this cover so much, and this is actually my favourite volume in the series, and it comes to over 1,000 pages. It's 1059 pages. So these books are not for the faint of heart and not for people who don't like to read, obviously. Next book is Gillian Pratchall's Der Leuchtturm von Alexandria. The English title is The Beacon at Alexandria. This is one of my favorite historical novels. It is set in Roman times, and I love it so much. And it comes to 473 pages. Next book is a childhood favorite of mine. It's Michael Endes Die unendliche Geschichte, and it comes to 428 pages. If you've ever seen the really awful films, do yourself a favor and get the book, read the book. The book is so much better than the truly horrible films. And what is so nice about this original edition is that it is printed in 2 colours. Can you see this here? It's printed in green for Fantasia. Is it called Fantasia in English? Fantasien in German. So green is for the story set in the fantasy world, whereas red denotes the bits of the story that are set in the real world. And there are also these very nice illustrations at the beginning of each chapter. So this is a book I can highly recommend. I loved this book as a child, and also other books by Ende. So after a short interruption, we continue with the rest of this tag, and the very last challenge is find 5 books with an F in the title. I have chosen Galen Foley's Lord of Fire. This was one of the first historical romances I've ever read, and I love this book to pieces. It's so good. It's a Beauty and the Beast tale again, and I can highly recommend this. It's a really, really good book. The next book is from my favourite mystery series, Away with the Fairies by Kerry Greenwood, and this is one instalment in her Phryne Fisher series. It's such a good series. It's set in the 1920s in Melbourne, and the heroine is, oh my gosh, she is wonderful. She is such a strong woman. She is fearless. I love her so much. There's also a TV series now based on these mysteries, but the books are nicer. The TV series is not bad, but the books are nicer. So I can highly recommend this series. Next book is The Once and Future King by T.H. White. And I bought this book when I was in Oxford in 1998, and I fell in love with the cover of this book, which is why I bought it. Isn't it pretty? I think it's really, really pretty. And it's a classic fantasy story. It's a retelling of the Arthurian legends, and also highly recommend it. The next book is written by yours truly. It's Castle of the Wolf. I was so excited. This was my second novel. I was so excited when I got the cover. I love this particular shade of blue, and I really like my grumpy man in the sky. He looks really grumpy, like that. And I've saved the best for last. The Yellow Fairy book from the Folio Society. Isn't it beautiful? It's such a wonderful edition. It's got a very pretty spine as well. And there's some yellow up here, and there are a few illustrations, not that many, but let me find one for you. This is a pretty one. Oh, but here it is. Here you can see it. And these first pages are also very, very pretty. The whole series is just so beautiful. they're a bit heavy, so you shouldn't read them in bed. They might fall on your face. But you know, for a nice edition, nothing can really beat these. And that was it, my numbers tag video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Bye bye.